Okay, next map. That's not a next map yet. That is the interlude, the Prince and the Prophet. Later that afternoon, on the road to Stratholme. No new notes on geography. It's mostly the same map we had before. So let's get in.
Greetings, young prince. We must talk.
I have no time for this.
Listen to me, boy.
Where are all your troops?
This
Why are you
land is
alone?
lost. The shadow has already fallen, and nothing you do will deter it. If you truly wish to save your people, lead them across the sea to the west.
Flee? My place is here, and my only course is to defend my people.
And your choice is already made. Just remember, the harder you strive to slay your enemies, the faster you'll deliver your people right into their hands.
I'm sorry for concealing myself, Arthas. I just wanted to...
Don't say it.
I sense tremendous power about him, Arthas. Maybe he's right. Maybe he does know what will happen.
Nothing he can say will make me abandon my homeland, Jaina. I don't care if that madman has seen the future. Let's go.
My first thought here was, why is he alone here? Like, did he like leave his army behind and just walk through the woods, doing like just wandering all by himself? Did he just pop off for a quick leak, and Mehdi just jumped him when he was about to take a leak? Like Arthas comes out into the woods, like starts taking off his pants, and Medivh suddenly appears. You must take your people to the forgotten lands of Culling. Dude, I'm trying to pips here. Is that what he was doing? Or is my second thought that I had already forgotten, and I will let you know if I remember what was my second thought. My second thought was, like, imagine if Arthas at this point said, "Oh, you know what? Okay, the strange man that has stalked me while I was taking a piss. You know what? He's right. I should leave to the Forgotten Lands of Kalimdor." Imagine that timeline when Arthas doesn't go off the deep end, doesn't, as he's about to do because we're about to start the Culling. Imagine the timeline in which Arthas doesn't go off the deep end and he travels with Jaina to Kalimdor. That would be a crazy timeline. I don't know if anyone has explored that timeline. Maybe everyone would be live happily ever after. Because like the Scourge wouldn't have their major general. Maybe like what would happen? Like if Arthas didn't even come to the Culling, where would he be? Like he grabs Jaina. They grab like any survivors in like Lordaeron around the place, and they start leaving to Kalimdor. What happens then? So Mal'Ganis takes over Stratholme, and he gets much more undead forces, more than Arthas could take, and then he takes Lordaeron down faster. So they take over Lordaeron one way or another. They take over Lordaeron, and they still come to Kalimdor. But now Arthas is now in Kalimdor, and he is defending with Jaina, with maybe within the Therum that they're building together. So now they have stronger forces defending Kalimdor, and maybe it doesn't even. I think that has a potential to be a better timeline, better in the sense that less people die. Like Eastern Kingdoms still get screwed one way or another. So I don't really know why the Culling is really so important, because like there's still this is the thing, like we got the Culling of Stratholme in in World of Warcraft as a dungeon, the time traveling dungeon, and you have to travel back in time to prevent the Infinite Dragons from stopping the Culling. So this horrible event still has to happen. And in World of Warcraft, it's like reframed a little. That's kind of weird. It's kind of reframed a little, where you don't have to kill civilians. You don't kill the civilians before they turn into zombies. You just kill just the zombies. So it's like reframed and it looks much less horrid, much less horrible than it does here in Warcraft 3. And you have to let the calling. I didn't click it. You have to let the calling happen because otherwise the scourge would be too powerful. But they run over Lordaeron anyway, and they get everyone dead and undead anyway. So like, what is really the difference here? You know what I mean? Maybe someone can tell me in the comments, like, if there was like a further explanation to that for why that is so important. Yeah, someone should. I think that would be actually a better timeline. Who knows? And now we will see in the calling. We will see if they're using the reforged map that looks more like the WoW Stratholme, or if they're using the Warcraft 3 Stratholme, which looked very different. Like I said, the geography changes a lot between the games. I think this is the original, because the map position is different.
Glad you could make it, Uther.
There.
Watch your tone
Done with me, boy. You may be the prince, but I'm still your superior as a paladin.
As if
I could forget. Listen, Uther, there's something about the plague you should know. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. How does he know this? Like, does he just see across the map, see into the city somehow? How does he know this?
I order you to purge this city.
The camera pans. I'm talking over a very famous cutscene.
Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
But it does strike me as odd.
You lost your mind, Arthas.
Have I?
Like, how did he see that?
Lord
You
Uther,
know?
by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your
This
paladins
is
from service.
crazy how it acts here.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done. Those of
Because-
you who have the will to save this land.
Because I will be the president one day.
The rest of
I
you,
order you all
get out of my sight.
to come protect me as my secret service, because I will be president one day. It's just something. There's something of this. It's worse than that. He's ordering the secret service
Sorry,
to
Arthas.
murder some
Do
civilians
this.
because he will be the president one day. This is this is crazy. Yeah, this is the original map. This is the original map because in World of Warcraft, Stratholme looks very different. And I think in the reforged version, like, they completely turn this around and they have the base for Arthas down here, and have like the actual shape of the gate from World of Warcraft, and the districts are reorganized here, and Mal'Gannis's base is like where it is in World of Warcraft. They completely reorganized it in Reforged, and this is using the original map. So that tells me something about the remake, that it will stray on the side of Warcraft 3 as opposed to like the lore accuracy, because this has been retconned. The shape of the map has been retconned. And now,
More gold is required.
no, maybe I am not as bad as I remember, because that map wasn't as bad as I remember. I can like do this like creep camp here. So
Ready to work.
either I am not as bad as I remember, or the maps were not as difficult as I remember, or they just were a lot more difficult back in Warcraft 3. I don't know anymore.
Ready to work.
Okay, how much do we have on wood? Like, do we have just the 2 peasants on wood? Okay, we got
I
all
await your
5
command.
here.
More gold is required. Justice shall be done.
The knights come from the barracks, not any sort of stables. That was interesting.
Ready to work.
Ready for action.
Like, I remember like the actual tech tree from Age of Empires 2 more than I remember the WarCraft tech tree. Or, you know, StarCraft II tech tree, I remember because I am playing it regularly. Like, in the Age of Empires, you have to build a stable to build knights or like horse units, like mounted units of any sort. And he has only like a single footman. It's not even the captain, it's just a single footman.
More gold is required.
More gold is required.
Ready to work.
Like you see, this is what I was talking about. Like that was also my problem in co-op, where my problem in co-op, where
More ready to work.
like I have the gold mine fully saturated. I'm doing everything I can, but it's still not enough to produce the units I need. So what does the game want from me? That is my question. What does the game want from me here? I can't put more in gold. Like I can't put more peasants in gold, but that will not make the gold come faster. The extra peasants will simply stand here and wait.
Job's done.
And if you put like 10 peasants there, they would just stand at the door. 5 of them will just stand there constantly and wait.
I've been waiting for you, young prince. I am Mal'Ganis.
How do we see that? Do we see that like telepathically? What is happening there? He's like across the city, across the map, but we are seeing this. Like, does he like project this image to us telepathically?
Your people.
Or does Arthas have like
I will now
mind reading abilities, like clairvoyance abilities? How does this happen?
the
No?
flame of life has been snuffed out forever.
I won't allow it.
You're probably not supposed to think about this too hard.
My hand than serve as your slaves in death.
Probably not supposed to think about this too hard, and it's generally the rule with Warcraft that you're not supposed to think about these things too hard. And I should start getting in there. Okay. Okay, we're not going in there that way.
Job's done.
Locked and loaded. I'm here to help. You are past redemption. Certainly. A sound plan.
Maybe like, when I was talking in earlier maps about how
Forgive me for what I must
Ready
do.
for action.
Righto.
maybe I was remembering the Culling and destroying all those
More gold
buildings.
is required.
Maybe that's what I remembered.
The light is my strength. For my father, the king.
Please get me out of here. I wanna go home.
A sound. Of course. A sound plan.
Is that's an undead attack wave? Okay, so we have to go and defend that. Good thing that it notifies me of that, because otherwise we would probably be pretty screwed.
Is there danger?
Job's done.
Is that the whole attack wave? Okay.
Certainly.
Good thing that it notifies me. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is that, you know, I mentioned like this idea that we were brainstorming with a friend about a Warcraft co-op commanders. Like the base, the first base map that I was thinking to start with was exactly the Culling. so you'd get like this map in co-op only with like a wider base area here, with enough area for 2 bases for you and the co-op commander. For you and the co-op friend. Okay, you got my. You just got 2 ghouls. He counts as either undead or a demon. Okay, that was easy.
Mal'Ganis is dead, but still his warriors fight on. We must keep going.
He went down to the altar to resurrect, didn't you know that?
Job's done.
I should probably start making like other buildings.
Are under attack.
So I can make more units. I will need the priests.
All right. Is there danger?
And where do we go now? Let's go here.
Ready for action.
In World of Warcraft you also don't destroy the buildings. In World of Warcraft you just come in there. You just come in there and the zombies just spawn. You don't even see a lot of villagers like turning into zombies. Just zombies just spawn and spawn and spawn, and eventually some bosses will spawn. That's how this happens in World of Warcraft.
The light is my strength.
So you know that's weird.
Research complete.
Like I try playing alphas as trying to do the right thing here.
Job's done.
I try playing alphas as trying to do the right thing and not like going out of his way to try to not kill the civilians until they turn. Like it's probably like beneficial to like kill them now, because then you have less zombies to actually fight and they will deal less damage to you.
Certainly.
But you know, I try playing him as trying to do the right thing and like not killing the civilians needlessly.
For honor.
Mal'Ganis is still down, I think,
Danger.
somehow. There's another building here.
A sound
Okay,
plan.
let's do that. What is that? Waygate. Then what that probably goes here. Like you forget the little things like these waygates and how these.
Once more.
Oh yeah, there was a counter for Mal'Ganis' revival. I completely forgot that.
Of course.
Forward.
Okay, let's do the workshop.
Righto.
And there's also an attack wave coming now,
Stand for the light.
so let's get out in their way. I have an advantage in the zombies number. But yeah, imagine this as a co-op map, where you have like 2 bases here, maybe one base here and one base here. Or maybe like make a wider entrance here. Make like a wider entrance here. Or like maybe make the allied base here or here. Like instead of at the Fountain of Health, or like move the Fountain of Health somewhere else. And then you...
Certainly. Of course.
and then you have these counters when you have to stop Mal'Ganis from claiming zombies, or you know, take the zombies yourself. And the co-op commanders, and like in the StarCraft II co-op, like you can pick between, like, you know, at the start I would have made it like Tyrande, like say Tyrande for Nightos, and Uther for Alliance, and for Horde, Thrall, of course, for Orcs.
Certainly. For my father. You are past.
Make like Thrall for Orcs,
Betrayer of the light.
But really think about how macabre this situation is. I didn't finish the thought that, and Arthas would be the undead commander, and the idea is why the undead are fighting with like Alliance and Horde. The idea is that this is an alternate timeline. This is an alternate timeline where the Scourge officially went against the Burning Legion, and the enemies are all Burning Legion. So you get like Dreadlord Insurgents as the enemy undead, and Arthas as the allied undead. And what the
Forces are under attack.
StarCraft II co-op is really missing. And StarCraft II co-op is really missing is the banter between the commanders. Like when you have like Kerrigan and Tychus, or Kerrigan and Mengsk as commander, you'd expect them to react to each other, you know? But they don't really do that, and it would be really nice to have this banter between, like, if you have Arthas and, say, Jaina as the commanders, and Arthas is, you know, undead, it would be nice if they had some banter.
Ready for action.
Some banter between them, like about how they... Why can't I attack you? Of course, I can't record the voice actors. Like I can't record the voice actors, can't record new voice lines really. Maybe they just would just make the just text lines as the banter that you don't hear, which is obviously is less than ideal. But I think I killed one of my own units there.
For honor, for my father.
I think I'm also killing the villagers faster than Morganis does. And you know, like, think about how macabre... I'm talking about two things at the same time. Yeah, like the idea was that... The basic idea was that all the enemies are Burning Legion, so you would have like Scarlet Crusade as the human enemies because they were manipulated by Balnazar, and you have like Dreadlord Insurgents as the undead enemies, and the Night Elf enemies are the hardest to come up with for me because you'd have to like be like satyrs, but then they wouldn't be like Night Elf units, but satyr units. That's weird. This was easy. This was much easier than I remember.
Right now, Mal'Ganis. Just you and me.
Brave words. Unfortunately for you, it won't end here. Your journey has just begun, young prince. Gather your forces and meet me in the Arctic land of Northrend. It is there that we shall settle the score between us. It is there that your true destiny will unfold.
I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. Do you hear me? To the ends of the earth!
Yeah, the whole talk about the WarCraft co-op just really is just me fantasizing, really, because I don't have the skill to pull off something like that. Like, I was just telling you about the imprint, the footprint around the building. I was just telling you about I don't know how I would remove that. So I don't have the skill to pull off something like that. But you know, I would love to do that someday if I had the skill someday, but by then no one will play the game anymore, so I know it's just pointless in the end. What the other topic I should really make a whole video about it, so it doesn't take over this video, but it does give us something to talk about while we are playing. The other thing that did came to my mind while I was playing that was just think about just how macabre that situation is. The crown prince of the kingdom is competing against a demon as to which of them can kill more of their people faster. Think about that. Like the crown prince is not fighting the he's fighting the demon sometimes, but he's competing with the demon in a competition as to which one gets to kill more of their people. That is dark. That is messed up. And people don't really think about it that way, and it's crazy. Another interlude Divergent courses. 3 days later, amongst the ruins of Stratholme. This is going to be the one with Jaina. I will put this at the end of the Culling. Because it's too closely tied to the Culling. Then the next map is, I think, the first in Northrend.
Arthas could have done this.
Jaina! Jaina Proudmoore!
Lord Uther?
Ah, Jaina. I thought I might find you here. Where has he gone, girl? Where has Arthas taken the fleet?
He came to me before he left. I pleaded with him not to go. I told him it sounded like a trap.
Where?
Northrend. He's gone to Northrend to hunt Morganis.
Damn that boy. I've got to inform King Tyrannus. Don't be too hard on yourself, girl. You had nothing to do with this slaughter.
Adib?
The dead in this land might lie still for the time being, but don't be fooled. Your young prince will find only death in the cold north.
You! Arthas is only doing what he believes is
Why are you
right.
defending him?
Commendable as that may be, his passions will be his undoing. It falls to you now, young sorceress. You must lead your people west to the ancient lands of Kalimdor. Only there can you combat the shadow and save this world from the flame.
We were purple on this one. Okay. Another thing I like to fantasize about, other than like the Warcraft co-op, is like making like a Warcraft, my Warcraft for my version of Warcraft 4, and implement, because it would be in the StarCraft II engine, it would implement some of the ideas from StarCraft II, like between the maps you would have a camp set up somewhere, and you would be able to like come and talk to the characters that are the other heroes that are with you, and you would be able like maybe select the heroes that would come with you on the missions, and based on different heroes you would pick for the mission, you would get like different dialogue, different like buildings, and that would implement some of the like the ideas of the co-op commanders. Yeah, just by basically just invented that like on the spot right now, and this is also mostly just something that I want to fantasize about. Like between missions, you get this camp that is similar to like how you get the Hyperion or the what's it called, the Leviathan in the Heart of the Swarm, or the Spear of Adun. Instead of the ship, you would get like a camp, and maybe the background of that camp would change between the missions based on where you are going. So you would get a little bit more of that RPG. And even if you can't create a new hero, like it's not Baldur's Gate 3, if you can't create a new hero, you'd get a little bit more of that RP vibe between the missions. Like the camp is what I had thought about before. Like the difference is that if you could pick different heroes to come with you and change the units you get on the map because of that. That is something I literally had just invented. And man, like, feel free to steal the idea if you have the skill to pull it off well, because before I would be able to make this, it would be years before and by then no one would be playing it. So if you have the skill to pull off that kind of thing, like, please do. Please do. I would love to play that map.